Hey, this is James with Ascension Digital Films, and today I'm going to talk about hard drives and how to set up your YouTube editing system, or if you're just doing videos for other things like weddings and corporate, I'm going to show you how to manage your files, get started with Final Cut Pro X, and organize hard drives and backup systems so that you're prepared to have things in case there's a crash, something goes wrong, you've got a backup, and how to manage files so things can be easily found and saved on your computer. So let's get started. So what I've done on my system is I have a couple different hard drives going on. The hard drive that's built into your computer is something you probably don't want to edit on. That hard drive has got your operating system and special files on it. It's better that we don't strain that hard drive and use our own hard drives for backing up and editing our media. So what I've done is I've got two different styles of hard drives that I use. One is the 3.5-inch spinning, the rotating hard drives that you can find really cheap. You can get 8 gigabyte, 8 and 10 and 12 gigabyte hard drives for very affordable prices nowadays. And that's kind of where I put all my files and take all the media off the camera, or if you're using a phone, get all your media off and put it in there along with the music, any graphics, animations, whatever that you're going to use in your video goes in that hard drive. Now that's kind of like your garage, your storage place. But when you're ready to actually edit your videos, you want to transfer them to something, you want to put them on a hard drive that can handle the speed. So I'm editing on a Mac Pro with 12 cores, and in order to really benefit from that kind of speed, you want to have hard drives that can keep up. And here's a couple different ways to get to where editing isn't so frustrating, there's less lag, and we can get things done quicker and more efficiently. So if you notice here on my desktop, there's a few different hard drives. There's the operating system hard drive where all the OS is, and of course there's a few other hard drives. And I put all of my media on the 3.5-inch hard drive, but I edit on an SSD. The reason why I edit on an SSD is because they're more reliable, they're faster, and they're more resilient. Because if you drop them or anything goes wrong, you don't really lose your files. They are sensitive to static, so be careful not to charge them with any static electricity or to walk around the house with them. But overall, use them to edit on, and use your spinning hard drives like these here to save and back up everything. So what you do is you offload your projects from your 3.5-inch drive into the SSD for editing, and that will save you a ton of stress and speed up the editing and rendering process in most editing systems. So I've got tons of hard drives and they're mostly full. I probably have like 20 hard drives. Each one's 4, 6, 8 terabytes in size, and they're filling up every few months with projects that I'm doing. So when you're setting up your editing system, maybe for the first time, buy a storage hard drive that you can get cheap, and then buy a good SSD. There's 2.5-inch SSDs, and typically the SSDs that are going into a lot of camera recorders nowadays, like the Atomos recorders, they have a 2.5-inch hard drive that's an SSD typically. And you can use that and edit on that directly just by plugging it in to your computer. So if you look here, here are some of the data rates for different hard drive types. And as you can see, the hard drives that are spinning at a certain rate are very slow data rates. And typically nowadays, a lot of cameras are filming in high bit rates. Most of the SLRs, the DSLRs, and the cinema cameras that are out nowadays are pushing 200 and 400 megabits a second, and then they're filming in formats like H.264 or H.265, which put a lot of strain on both the computer processor and the hard drives for rendering. So what you want to do is, if you can, film your footage in like ProRes or some less compressed format, and your editing system will have a lot less strain, and you can always recompress it into the right format for YouTube or publishing. So on my other YouTube channel, the 5 Neo Philosophies, I'm publishing a lot of my material on YouTube filmed on green screen. So here's where you really need an SSD, because the footage to green screen requires that we're filming in a higher bit rate. The bit rate and the data rates to capture green material and to separate those colors It requires that we film in formats like ProRes or ProRes HQ, and those data rates really require an SSD to move that data in the editing system. If you're filming on a phone, a lot of phones are filming in a compressed format, and it's better to transcode that into ProRes so that the editing system can handle playback smoothly, and it can also manage the color correction a little bit easier. And so what I've got here is some 3.5-inch hard drive readers that plug through and connect through Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt's very high speed and will keep up with pretty much any hard drive that comes out. And it lets me swap in and out when I need to and eject hard drives right off of the desktop and add new hard drives quickly and easily. So when it comes to video production, you'll find out pretty quickly that you'll run out of hard drive space very, very fast. The more you film, the more hard drive space you need. And the more you do special things like green screening or adding in a lot of animations, the more rendering that happens in the background, and Final Cut or whatever program you're using is going to build rendering files that will use up space too. And we'll talk about that in my other videos. So I hope this video helps you around organizing your storage. I've got other videos around cameras, lighting, setting up your computer correctly, doing different special effects in Final Cut Pro. So if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe, hit the notification bell so that YouTube adds me to their algorithm. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I'll see you in one of my other videos.